wake up sluggish and fatigued? Hello, my successful and healthy earthlings. Mihaela Ragushia, naturopath and founder of the Natural Health Podcast. In this episode today, you will learn what you can do naturally to feel energized and refreshed when you wake up in the morning. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you an opportunity to join a health and success-oriented community by clicking below and joining the Natural Health newsletter. Welcome to the Natural Health Podcast, where we bring awareness to sustainable health in the business hustle space. Natural Health Podcast is perfect for the high-performing business-minded individuals who want to work with the biochemistry to achieve success and optimal health. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for What Would I Do? In today's episode of Natural Health Podcast, we discuss this week's questions. All questions I keep confidential and I read and answer them as if it was me. Hence why it's called What Would I Do? The information provided is not to be taken as advice and it's all for information purposes only. I'm not here to cure, treat, or provide medical advice. I'm here to educate and inform you so you will take steps towards optimal health. Please discuss any medical issues with your healthcare professional. Let's get into today's question. Today's question reads like this. I am so fatigued and wake up feeling tired and sluggish. I have been like this for the last few months and don't know what it feels like to be filled with energy. Is there something I can do right now to get my energy back naturally? Thank you so much for writing in. And you're not the only one. There's so many individuals that have contacted me lately with a similar issue of low energy, fatigue, and sluggishness, especially in the morning. I mean, you're supposed to feel most energized in the morning when you wake up from a so-called refreshed sleep, right? But most people are contacting me and saying that, hey, Mihaela, I'm not sleeping, or hey, Mihaela, I believe I'm sleeping. I'm laying there for 8 or 9 hours, but I'm waking up fatigued and I'm really sluggish. So, you're not the only one. And if everything happening around us at the moment, our stress, even though you may not be stressed at the moment, and I've mentioned this many times before, our stress doesn't go just down like that. We have to work on getting it down. Our nervous system activation doesn't just go down like that. We have to work on getting it down, leveling it up and balancing it. It's up to us to take charge of our stress response. It's up to us to take charge of what is happening around us, right? So I guess, you're feeling fatigued. You've been feeling like this for the last few months, which is kind of in line with everyone else because, here in Australia, everyone's gone through so much the last 2 years, and I mean all around the world, not just here. And now kind of your body's just like kind of being able to take a back seat, and that is when the stress, the fatigue kicks in, because it's kind of like you're like, I'm not really stressed out. I've got nothing to be stressed out about. But if I ask you what happened 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 18 months ago, you're like, yeah, I was so stressed. It's like now your body's finally being able to deal with that now, right? Because if you just keep pushing it away, your body will never deal with it, and that's an issue, and that's how disease is formed. So that's kind of what's been happening around at the moment. And what you need to understand is also, if you've had a stressful few years, it builds up. And that becomes normal. And then something else stressful happens and then becomes normal. And then something else stressful happens and then that becomes normal. So you started down here as your normal stress and it's gone up, let's say 20%, and that's your new normal now. You don't even know what it feels like to be down here and be stressed, because you are up here and stressed, and it's something totally different. And this is where our body just gives us signs and symptoms, whatever they may look like for you. I guess for you, it's being tired and sluggish and fatigued. Our body just gives us little signs and symptoms to say, hey, something's not right. Let's do something about it. All right. So because you're feeling like this, let's just go straight into some questions to ask yourself. And this is what I would do, right? Is ask yourself some questions such as, what happened around the time that this started? You said it was a few months ago. So looking back a few months ago, did anything happen at that time or a few months before that? What happened around that time? Did something stressful happen? Did you lose your job? How's your family? Is there something happening with your business, with your partner, with kids, with your family, with your health? What happened around that time? So just think about that. And then also think about, when was the last time you actually felt energized? The energy that you want to feel, when was the last time you actually felt that? Right? And around that time that you felt that, if you say to me, hey, Mihaela, I felt that about 2 years ago. Going back 2 years ago, what was your sleep like? What was your diet like? What was your work life? What was your family life? What were your relationships like around that time? Think about that, and what are they like now? What is the difference between where you want to be and where you are at the moment, right? What's the difference? What is your stress like at the moment? Some people say symptoms of stress are different things. Some people it's can't sleep. Some people it's shaking. Some people it's not wanting to socialize. Some people it's wanting to be around people all the time, not wanting to be alone. Some people it's overeating, some people it's undereating. It's different for everyone, right? Doesn't mean you're weird or you're different because your stress feels different to your best mate's stress, right? What is your diet like at the moment? Individuals, when they get stressed out, what usually happens is, hey, I'm going to eat out, I'm going to get takeaway, or hey, I'm going to do this and this and this, and that causes more stress on our body. So what is your diet like at the moment? Are you anxious? Are you having any panic attacks? Is that coming into effect at all? Before bed, do you have any thoughts that come up? I did an episode about negative thoughts and how that affects our sleep. Forgot the episode number, but yeah. So look at all my episodes. They're all amazing. Check them all out. But yeah, so are you anxious, right? And what does that look like for you? Did you start something new during this time of the fatigue? So some people start going to the gym 6 days a week after not going at all for 2 years. Has that got to do with it? Did you start a new diet? Did you start new medication? Did you start new supplements? Did you start a new relationship? Did you start a new job? Has anything changed when that fatigue kicked in? It may be for the good, like a new job may be absolutely amazing, but you may be more fatigued because you're using up more energy and eating less and so forth. Are you currently on any medication or any supplements, right? It's key to review medications and supplements. Why? Because some of these side effects of some medications may be fatigue, it may be sluggishness, may be sleep disturbances and insomnia, right? So you need to review this, same as supplements. What is your current sleep like? When do you go to sleep? When do you wake up? Are you refreshed? What is it out of 10 refreshment wise? What's your sleep efficiency? So many things to take in consideration. Do you have issues falling asleep or staying asleep, or even both? Because there are two different types of neurotransmitters that are affected. If you're having issues falling asleep, it's different compared to if you're having issues staying asleep. Different things impacted, different strategies to overcome that. The other one is, do you wake up with an alarm, or do you just wake up naturally? Do you allow yourself to just wake up naturally and sleep, or do you have to wake up with an alarm? All right. So then the question is, what would I do if I was in this situation? I have been in this situation previously, and these are the things that I've done, right? The number one thing is I reviewed my diet and I reviewed my exercise. What's my current diet like? What's my exercise like? And I reviewed my sleep, exercise, and diet. I reviewed all of them. I looked at it. What am I doing? What am I not doing? What do I need to do? Then review. Like, for example, I'm only walking 1 day a week. I'm going to change that to 2 or 3 days a week, right? Because you may think that doing that may get you more fatigued. No, it's actually going to create energy. Movement creates energy. We need to move. There's the reason why we've been given 2 legs, to move, right? And individuals, we need to move, right? In addition to that, diet, right? If I'm eating sugar on a roller coaster, I'm crashing, I'm fatigued, I'm going up and I'm crashing. Need to review that to stabilize the blood sugar levels. So therefore, things like increasing fiber and so forth helped, right? The other thing is reviewing the sleep. What's my sleep like? If I'm going to sleep at midnight, 1 a.m. and I'm waking up 4, 5 a.m. for work, well, that's not going to provide enough sufficient sleep for me to stay up, right, and be energized. So reviewing my sleep, reviewing my sleep hygiene. Am I wearing pajamas? Am I brushing my teeth? Am I in a cool, dark room? What's my mattress like? Is it old? What are my sheets like? Are they organic? Do I have allergens around me that are creating me not to sleep well? These are all the things that need to be taken in consideration, right? Sleeping environment, absolutely key. Then we go into supplements, right? We look at supplements such as B5, vitamin C, and magnesium. Absolutely key when individuals are stressed out and fatigued, okay? There are other ones, but this is just like CoQ10 and so forth, but this is just kind of like the base, and then you look into individualizing it. This is the base, and then you individualize it and add things on that need more, that you may need more of, right? The other thing is not eating before bed because then you'll be able to sleep in a deeper state. You want to hit all the stages of sleep, including non-REM, REM, deep sleep, and so forth. You need to hit all of them, and you want to have a few cycles of them so your body and your brain is able to do what it needs to do during sleep, right? Sleeping the same time every night, going to sleep the same time every night. Measuring my sleep. So measuring sleep, absolutely key. Sleep time, my sluggishness out of 10, my refreshment out of 10, whatever your goals or my goals may be at the time, that's why you would measure them out of 10, what they're like. So you can see improvement or not improvement. So you kind of go, okay, I ate at 7 o'clock that night, I slept really well. Okay, last time we went out, I ate at 10 o'clock, I didn't sleep well. Okay, cool. you can see that diet impacts it, right? So this is where you need to review your sleep and measure, work with a healthcare professional to assist you with this. So there you have it. I hope I shed some light to your question, anyone who is listening who may have a similar issue. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at mahalo.raguz on Instagram, and I'll be in touch with you and hope I'll be able to answer any of your questions via the Natural Health Podcast. And if you want to join a health and success oriented community, click below and join the Natural Health newsletter. Love, like, share the Natural Health Podcast to anyone that you may think will benefit from this. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, so you're notified every time such an amazing video like this comes out. And remember, the missing link between failure and success is your health. Content and information provided here is the opinion of Mahalo Raguz and is for information purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. It is not intended to provide medical advice or take the place of medical advice or any current treatment you're undertaking. Consult your own medical professionals for any medical issues that you may be having. This entire disclaimer also applies to any guests or contributors to the Natural Health Podcast. It is advised that you consult your doctor or healthcare professional in relation to any health concerns you may be having. Mahalo Raguz does not take responsibility for any health consequences which occur from a person listening, viewing, or reading this content. Under no circumstances shall the Natural Podcast, Mahalo Raguz, any guests or contributors to the Natural Podcast, or any employees, associates, or affiliates of Mahalo Raguz be responsible for damages arising from the information provided on the Natural Podcast. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as medical advice to treat any medical conditions in either yourself or others. Please note, if you're taking prescription, do not stop your medication or start a new protocol, including but not limited to supplements, diet, lifestyle changes without consulting a doctor or healthcare professional. If you or any person has a medical concern, you should consult with your healthcare provider or seek other professional medical advice. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something that you have read or heard on the Natural Podcast or in any linked materials. If you think you may have a medical emergency, call your doctor or emergency services immediately. Neither Mahalo Raguz nor the publisher of this content takes responsibility for the possible health consequences of any person or persons reading or listening or following the information in the educational content.